Welcome back to Breaking Tables. This is Brian, your host, a Buffalo Fanatics podcast. This episode is episode 17, AFC Division Champions. And I've got two special guests with me. Not one, but two special guests with me. I got LEVEY. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, apologize. Three special guests with me. I got Ed LEVEY and his daughter, Maddie, who has a podcast called the Maddie and Daddy Show. I hope I said that right. And then Rory Allen, the genius behind you might have seen his signs, the Allen Diggs 2020, or if you want to win easily, you could just call Allen Diggs and Beasley. That's right. It, right? Yeah. Ow! Guys, what is up? How are you feeling after a victory knowing? Wait, hold on. Let's back up. 1995. How old were you guys? Ed, how old are you, bro?
I was 12.
You were 12. I was 11, dude. Maddie wasn't even thought of yet.
No, I can promise you that.
I'm embarrassed to say that I was 19 or maybe 18. So I'm the old guy here, I guess.
Ah, all right. No, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's still our age. That just, a few years older than us. But everything's got to be going through your mind right now. The emotions and waking up this morning going, wow, yesterday wasn't a dream. We went out and made a statement. We beat these guys 48-13. Was it 48-13? 48-19. Rory, talk to me, bro. Give me your first instant reaction.
I've been watching, obviously, since I was, let's just say I really got into football and the Bills in 89, 90. All 4 years of high school, the Bills were in the Super Bowl. We all know what happened there. And as somebody from my exact generation, let's just say if the Bills went to the Super Bowl all 4 years you were in high school, you have a certain expectation when you watch sports in both regards, right? On the one hand, you expect them to get there. On the other hand, you're not too confident on how it's going to go. So those are things I'd say people my age have been dealing with their whole life. This is like a sports, obviously I'm sure you guys can relate to that sentiment. Just like, hey, something's not going to go right here. So to finally feel like, that feeling like here we are. We got a team, a legit team. I'm obviously excited.
Absolutely have to be excited. It's you've seen it all. You've seen it all. You've seen us, losing 4 Super Bowls. I was at that age, and LEVEY probably the same way, at that age where we were really probably didn't understand the sport yet. But now that we go back and look at it going, oh my God, this is, 25 years in the making, and here we are. It's amazing. And Rory, I got to say, you are a huge Buffalo Bills fan. So for the viewers, Rory Allen is he did all those the cool little signs. What is your favorite design that you've made with your company, Rory? Tell us about that.
Well, obviously we had a lot of success with the Allen Diggs signs. That is a guy named Josh Federici that works with us. That was his brainchild. It's funny that we do a lot of stuff that doesn't work. And but we tried to launch Trey White 2020 actually back in about 6 months before this. Went nowhere. I don't think the timing was right. Not a dig at Trey White, but just people weren't thinking about politics or anything. But in August, my designer just came to me and showed it to me. It was literally something I don't think he spent more than a half hour on, and was like, check this out. Let's do this. Allen Diggs 20. And immediately I knew it was a good idea. We had we launched, I don't know if you guys are Sabres fans, but we did a Jeff Skinner for mayor parody campaign like back when he was hot a couple years ago. And that sort of took off, not like Allen Diggs. I think it's sort of like representative of Bills versus Sabres. People are Bills fans in this town. I mean, they're Sabres fans in this town, but they are Bills fans. I mean, Bills fans travel all over the state. We're all over the country. If I had to guess, I think there's probably 10 times the amount of Bills fans, and the people that are Bills fans are 10 times the fans. And if the Allen Diggs campaign taught us anything, it's just how many there are and how excited they are. So he shows me this back in August, and I knew it was going to be a winner. But ironically, it didn't really go anywhere right away. Like, we put a few out there. Nobody really said much. We gave a bunch to a charity. At the 11-day power play, we hooked them up with some. They gave them out. It was only about 3 weeks into it. We have this RV, and we put a Allen Diggs banner on the side of our RV outside of our office. Then the news showed up, and then it was over. And obviously, it took off. We had a bunch of copycats, which was, sort of
the photo that I sent you of me holding that sign, Allen Diggs 20. He goes, that's a knockoff. I'm like, fuck, man. I that's disrespectful.
It's what,
man, all wrong.
Listen, I don't even blame the people that I get it. People are just trying to feed their family. So I try not to dwell too much on being a hater on that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that I didn't create like a Wu-Tang election sign that obviously is not my idea.
Dude, it's still cool. And I got your attention from the huge banner that you had on that RV that was you could win easily. All you got to do is call Allen Diggs and Beasley. It was, and speaking of Allen Diggs and Beasley, we got a 4,000-yard receiver, quarterback. Diggs he had 157 yards last night. Beasley 130 yards last night. Our boy, we don't even have our number 2 wide receiver. That's guys, buckle up.
It's incredible to just watch with that much confidence and think you could, Allen's just throwing at these guys and they're catching 90% of them. Like just doesn't. It feels automatic and it's fun. I don't want to take up all the time on this. I'm talking, but that's all we do here. We just sit here and just talk. Because I can always just delete it afterwards. Like, all right, delete. Yeah, I mean, just having that feeling like automatic for once, and I know you guys can relate to this, that we're on the side of the ball, we're on the side of the game where, this must have been what it felt like to be a Patriots fan all these years. You go.
I know. Now we know what they felt like, and we don't have that asterisk. We don't have the cheater asterisk. We're just solid. We are solid as heck.
Right. You can be down in a game and still feel like, you know what? Even when the Bills, we were still up, but like when Denver kind of got all those calls and there was some bad officiating going on last night, I feel like people were. I still feel confident. There was never a moment where I was like, this team, like that was a fluke, it was 14-7 or something. It wasn't like I was like, oh no, here we go. I was like, nah, this is good. That's a fluke. This team's just not as good. And that's the difference, like you just have confidence on both sides of the ball. It's really
100%, brother. 100%. Levy, the Levies.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to hear you guys because I was listening to your podcast earlier today, and it's so cute, guys. It's so come on. We got Daddy and Maddie. Come on, it's awesome, and you guys love the Bills. Yeah. Talk to me about last night and how you woke up this morning.
Dude, I mean, I can kind of echo what Rory said. I mean, it's we all grew up there in that phase. It was an emotional time back then. We got to see the Bills good. There's generations that that never seen them good and they stuck to them. It's that fan base that they talk about, and it's we were born into it. I mean, it's just simple as it is. That's why you see that huge number of fans that are there. I mean, across the nation, across the world, is because they're born into it, and several of them haven't got to see the Bills be that. Like Roy's talking about they're down, but there was never that feeling that okay, it's over with. They're going to do something
with them,
yeah. It's starting to wash out that, man, they're going to do something Billsy. They're going to do something.
I know. Bro, you get that feeling in your gut. You're just like, I feel something Billsy is going to happen right now.
All these penalties, and you're like, it don't matter. It don't matter. The talent's there, and the defensive meshing. But, I really, this is my daughter, Madeline, 15, who, I mean, she's rocked the Bills since she was a baby. And, there's no other team, And she's all about that goat. I mean,
that's Josh Allen, just for the record. Rory, I have Josh Allen comes with me every single game, every single time I'm watching it. Josh Allen's by my side.
Nice.
Yeah, he's like my angel in disguise, just sitting there and talking to me, I guess, like a goat does. Like, how would Josh Allen talk to you? Well, Levy, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off with the goat.
No, you're good. I mean, I'm really interested to hear, like I said, I like putting it up on like my daughter, that's a whole nother generation right there that, it's a couple of generations. And I mean, she can talk some Bills. I mean, tell them how you feel. Like,
I don't know. I mean, I liked waking up and like texting everyone and being like, yeah, we won. And because everyone was smack talking me saying, oh, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. I was like, who just won? Who just won?
That you have to, because I live down here in South Florida, and it is, we're surrounded by Dolphins fans, and we have to talk a little smack once in a while just to, keep things interesting. Rory, you ever been down to South Florida?
Oh, hell yeah. I've been to Bills games there. Yeah, great time.
Well, I guess it's a question for all of you guys. What was the last game you guys been to? Rory, what was the last game you've been to live?
I was at the game on Sunday because I work at the games. So I work
on. Wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. So I work in the injury video review team. So I was.
Hold on a minute. So not only do you come up with cool, badass designs, you're telling me you fucking work for them now? Oh, yeah. Rory, now you got to talk to me, bro. Talk to me. Come on.
No. I work.
Can you call Terry Bagula right now and text him? Hey, Terry, come on, answer the phone.
Yeah.
You're on breaking tables.
I don't have a whole lot of. I don't have anybody on speed dial now, but no, I actually don't work for the Bills. I work for the NFL. It's a cool job. I work on the injury video review team, so I've had some pretty special perspectives. There's a photo of Josh. It wasn't that game. It was the what was the game where he did like he's kind of like jumping into the end zone.
Like 2 games ago, and it looked like he almost hurt himself when he came down.
Yeah. Who was that? I can't even remember.
I think was it Kansas City?
No.
It was the one that they also won it 2 games ago or 3 games ago now.
Was it the Chargers? Was it the Chargers? I think it was the Chargers.
Chargers, right?
Because we had a break. We lost to Arizona. We had our bye week. Then we played the Chargers. That was the
Chargers. Then we played Pittsburgh, right?
Yep.
So that Chargers game, there's a shot of him like jumping in the end zone, and you can see me and my friend like photo bombing in the background, just standing there like. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to find that video. Yeah.
Somewhere circulating. Rory's back there going.
Yeah. I pinched myself. In fact, my best man and I both. He was my best man and vice versa. He got me this job about 7 years ago working there, and I said to him last game, I was like, I don't know if you realize how special this job is right now. I mean, it's always been special. I got to admit, like without fans, it is not the same vibe. Yeah, it's tough. They pump in noise. They have audio that they're playing the crowd noise, and it's just kind of ambient noise. It's not like cheering.
Right, it's nowhere near the same because that stadium will get pumped.
But also, it's just like random noise, and it's on a loop, which is even weirder. So like. There'll just be like this one lady who just screams every 7 minutes.
Just randomly.
But it's like, when
easy, Karen.
Because you're like.
Levy, when was the last time you guys went to the game, bro?
So I was at the Sunday night Pittsburgh game last year. Was the last one.
Oh, last year?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We went to Cleveland together. I thought Madeline was going to fight some people.
Oh, no way.
I was there with my boys. That's actually the last time I went to a game as a fan was the Cleveland game. That was a tough one.
Shoot. That was something, boy. And they were like Bills fans, they were talking junk, they walk by us and just like Bills fans do, but man, Madeline's like 14 and she's ready to fight people. And I'm like, hey, just relax. It's just they're just having fun. I mean,
so just a little background story. Levy is a ex-Marine and a lieutenant of the police force in North Carolina. Anytime Maddie got any troubles, I'm sure she can handle her own. If not, we got Lieutenant Levy over here to make sure stuff stays appropriate. Good on you, brother. I absolutely love that game. And this is my dog, Butters. Come on, Butters. Get down. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Go ahead and delete that.
Go. Get the goat.
Josh. You okay, buddy? Ma. Oh, Josh. Ma.
So,
all right, guys. So
I have a question for Levy and Maddie. So I imagine this is like a big bonding experience for you guys. Bonding over the Bills. I'm sure it sounds like an awesome thing to bond over, right? Especially right now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's something that I've taken them something that I've been able to do with my kids. I've been blessed to take them to games, and that, growing up about 50 minutes from the stadium or whatever, I didn't go to my first game till I was 30 years old, so a lot of those games you talked about, I remember listening to it on the radio, like the greatest comeback there, they had the blacked out rules and stuff. So yeah, it's something that we do. I mean, I have 3 daughters all together, and even my wife being from North Carolina, they're die hard. I mean, we took family pictures and all Bill stuff. I mean, it really is. It's a bonding experience. And that's kind of what we did with this podcast was, the Daddy and Maddie show it was something. She took broadcasting in high school, and it was something to not only talk about Bill, but like we share stories of stuff that we've experienced, from everything from snowboarding. One of the episodes we talk about going house hunting and Christmas decorations and some of the weird stuff that happens inside it. But then we also sit and we discuss topics that are, like a teenager's perspective as well.
Sure.
So it's cool.
It's really cool, bro.
Yeah. It's fun.
I'm genius. Never heard of that one before. That's really cool.
It's interesting because I have triplets. And so I have 2 boys and a girl that are triplets, and then I have another little girl. But my oldest girl, who's one of the triplets, has she's a huge football fan, and her brothers, they pretend they're into it, but like the game will come on, and the 2 boys will just like take off doing something else, playing video games or something. But my daughter will sit next to me and like watch every play. She like knows all the players' names. She could rattle off. If I asked her, who the Bills played 3 weeks ago, she'd tell me what the score was at halftime.
Nice.
I can relate to having a daughter who's super into football. So I'm wondering if that's, probably a lot of it is just, wanting to bond with dad. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, she can tell you. I mean, it was a cool story. Tell them about when she had one of her best friends over here who does competition cheer. And my wife was taking her to cheerleading, and tell them what she said. Tell them how that went.
So the game was on, and she was like, "Will you ride with me to practice?" And I was like, "No, no, the game's on. I got to stay and finish the game." And she was like, "Well, why won't you leave?" I'm like, "The game is on. I can't leave." That's
right.
She left and came back, and I was like, "Okay, the game's over."
Yeah, so I mean, I can relate. It's cool to see too, it's especially as a dad, you can sit there and you see, and it kind of echoes to what they talking about where they refer to the Bills Mafia or fan base, that family is that, there's blood that runs into it, and the passion for a team and the Bills. That's why you see this passion in the younger generations. It's just, it's a continuation, and it's just, right. It's all.
Rory, I got to ask, where do you live? Do you still live up north?
Yeah, I live in North Buffalo.
Okay. Did you go to the airport last night?
No. I had some friends that went, but no, I couldn't make it.
Man, that'd be a rough next morning. I'm sure those guys are still celebrating, and tomorrow's gonna be rough for them.
Yeah, it looked pretty crowded. I'm anxious to see. Let's hope they let crowds back in the game. I'm hoping for the Bills fans' sake. I think the what last night taught us, I think the challenge they're going to have is if they let fans back in, how are they going to control the tailgate? Because I know people who they'll be, if they said, okay, let's have 10,000 people in the game, they'll have 80,000 people show up and tailgate.
Just a tailgate, yeah.
Right.
So how they did that in down here in Florida when the Bills came in town, there was their home opener when Buffalo came down, and it was week 2. They said absolutely no tailgating. You can't even drive in the stadium until I think you have an hour prior to game, and then you can go in based on your section. You have a certain like window when you can go. It was crazy. And we went to that game, and it was just absolute. It was. I was wearing this on my head. I was wearing the goat on my head, like this, and they wouldn't let me in with the goat on my head. They goes, so you can't have that on. I go, why? And he's like, he looked at me, rolled his eyes a little bit, and was like, hold on, let me find out. And he calls it. He's got something on his head. He's trying to find something, and then the lady was like going back. Okay, is it big? Yep, 10-4 copy. It's big. Can it fall and like knock over somebody? And he's like, yep. So you can't have it because it's too big. I'm just sort of like, you know what? Luckily, I parked. I look out back and you can see my truck. I go, luckily I parked right there because there's only 10,000 fucking peoples here. So I go, I will go walk back and put it in my truck, and I'll go. And he goes, sir, please comply. I'm like, I already told you I'm leaving. Please comply. I'm not. All right, fine, I'll comply. You got it. You win.
You weren't the one live streaming the game, were you? Because the broadcast went out, and somebody from the game, I had to watch like at least a few minutes of the game from some live broadcast. That wasn't you, though. No.
I did for a little bit, and a bunch of people from I went to high school with who I've never talked to in the world. They're all like, hey, Brian, keep streaming, keep going, because we have a blackout going on, or some power is going out or something. And
PBS just cut out.
Yeah.
So that game, they didn't allow us to tailgate. It was crazy getting in. So they didn't allow us to tailgate, and we ended up tailgating at my house in my backyard at like 7 a.m, just making fried wings and drinking beers. And then I live like 15 minutes away from the stadium. Like, let's all roll out afterwards.
Yeah, but I mean, you're talking about the way the stadium is there in Orchard Park. There's so many private lots right there that
I know.
They ain't going to be able to stop that. I mean, you think about that lot right there that leads up right next to One Bill's Driver, right by the field house right there. Like, all that along that route there where the visiting team comes. I mean, there's no way they'd be able. I mean,
Rory, I got a question for you, brother. That defense. What do you think versus the first few games of the season, and here we are now?
Well, I mean, obviously they are healthier. They've got. I think that we're out at least like 3 or 4 guys. I mean, people are playing a little hurt. I think people are healthy. I think the coaching has gotten better. We've gotten better against the run. I think they've figured that all out. So. I hope that we're not peaking right now. I hope that this is the beginning of the peak, because obviously the last few weeks we've seen some of the best Buffalo Bills football we've seen in 25 years.
I agree with you 100%.
But it's all – I mean, the offense has kind of looked sharp most of the year. The defense is definitely has stepped up.
I think it comes down to look how many different pieces are on defense too. Plus, I mean, Edmonds wasn't healthy.
Right.
Milano hasn't been. I mean, but that defensive line.
Milano's been out. Yeah, Milano's been out, and Edmonds is getting healthier.
And they're learning how to use their new pieces. I mean, look at AJ Klein.
Right.
I know. I joke that I'm waiting for the NFL to be like, he's suspended due to the performance enhancers. Like all of a sudden, it just clicked.
Yeah, over a week. Like, he was like shit for 4 weeks, and we were all. I'm guilty. I was talking so much trash on AJ Klein, and he must have heard it and took it personally, and he started playing lights out. So you guys are welcome.
I've never run into him, but AJ Klein lives around the block from me.
Are you serious?
I've never seen him, but all the neighbors say. So, like, when we were making all those Alan Diggs signs, somebody's like, yo, you got to make like a Klein sign, man. And I was like, what do you mean? We didn't make one, so they'd all made like handmade signs and put them all around.
Dude, that is great. That is fucking great. I definitely need to get that sign. So if you want to tell the listeners, where do we go to get, if we want to get these signs or look at your product, where do we got to go?
We made a joke it's the same timeline. You come out with a sign, nobody really knows about it. Then people start seeing it, they like it. Our latest sign is it's called the Bills Board, and it's a joke on Allen, Diggs, and Beasley being a law firm. So if you want to win easily, call Allen, Diggs, and Beasley, and you can we all grew up in law firm billboard world with everything rhyming, so we thought that'd be funny take on it. And my designer actually drew some really good caricatures of them. So all this stuff is at zoombuffalo.com. We're trying to launch a new sign every day, so we got some good stuff on there. You got this podcast is called Breaking Tables, and we got a perfect sign and T-shirt coming out this week, which is where you could basically pick this caricature of the Bill, and in one hand he'll have a solo cup and the other one a football, and he'll be breaking the table.
How much would it be just to use that as my new logo going forward? Because that sounds fucking epic, Rory.
And so you'll be able to go on there and pick which Bill you want. So you could swap it out. You want Josh jumping through the table? You want Diggs, Beasley? You'll be able to pick them.
Nice.
But I will talk to you about that proposal.
Yes, I got my first official sponsor. Maddie and Daddy, talk to me, guys. Are the Bills winning the Super Bowl? Yes or no? Winning.
Yeah.
Not going, winning.
Wait, yeah, I mean, is that even a question?
Like your dude. I like your dude. We're gonna win. We're gonna go win the Super Bowl, and then we all got to go up to Rory's house to celebrate.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can go celebrate and have a little parade at AJ Klein's community.
Show up at his house.
So Josh Allen is like 350 yards away from breaking Drew Bledsoe's single season record. We've got 2 more games left, guys. I don't see us playing Miami. I don't see, all right, you're sitting, Allen, let Barkley play. Because at the end of the day, we're playing for seed right now. Chiefs are just on a roll house right now. They're going to win. They're not going to lose.
Hey, they're in a game right now, though.
What's the score of that game?
14-9 right now. Top of the third, still 13 minutes. They're going back and forth, and New Orleans is driving right now. So,
well, I see Allen playing one more game against the Patriots this week, and after that, just let him rest. Let our boy rest for a bit. What do you guys think?
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I don't see the point. I mean, I don't think you're not going to catch Kansas City. The best you could do is tie them, and they got the tiebreaker. So, I mean, you're going for what, a bye? Use that last week as a bye. I mean, Miami has everything to let them. I don't know if it works out. It'd be nice. I tweeted it earlier. It'd be nice if we could play them in the first round and knock them out. I think that'd be the easiest game out of them all, to be honest with you.
That'd be huge. Getting that amp. Yeah, oh my God.
Plus, they're going to have to come with their best scheme against us, last week. But I think you sit them. I think you play them next week. And I don't want to see Diggs if he's, depending on how serious his foot, he says he's all right. Let him sit. Let those guys are
John Brown is back next week. We don't need Diggs. Right. Let them sit for playoffs, bro.
Let them rest. So that's my thought. I mean,
yeah, I tend to agree. I haven't really analyzed the standings well enough to know what the implications of losing any of these next 2 games is. Doesn't sound high, but and also you add the fact that home field is less meaningful this year. Obviously, you want to play at home when you can, but without a ton. Actually, that's not true. I mean, if you're playing KC, they got fans, right? So depends on who you're playing where. But, for the Bills especially, we would like to see a home playoff game, or we will see at least one. But, I'm not sure that it matters as much as it typically matters, So if you get into the nitty-gritty of whether or not we have, win the head-to-head for a home game down the road, I'm not sure it matters as much as just being healthy for the playoffs. We need these guys all just super well rested. So I would agree with that. And I can't see them starting now.
We don't need these last 2 games. We're in the playoffs. We clinched the division. We do not need these last 2 games. One more game. Josh Allen, do not run it. You're not allowed to run it. You just throw it, check it down. That's it. Let Tyler Bass kick a field goal and we'll win the game by 3 points. That's fine. These last 2 games are not going to make a difference, but let's get him ready for the playoff round 1. It's going to be amazing.
You're looking at the only thing it comes down to, and I'm the same way. I haven't analyzed the seedings and see how it play out because at the end of the day, I mean, we're AFC East champions. I mean, that's at the end of the day. So I mean, we got a home playoff game. The only thing that would make a difference is, do you travel to Kansas City for the AFC Championship, or do you travel to them, for what, the divisional round?
You got to beat Pittsburgh if you beat round 1.
Who would you rather play at home? I'd rather face, Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh than, if that's how it plays out, than Kansas City coming off a rest, a bye. So, I mean, that's the only thing. I think they have to play the starters this next game, and then they lock up. I think they lock up the third, possibly the second, depending on what Pittsburgh does, and then you go from there. But you don't play in the last game. There's no reason, regardless, if that – you win and you stay in third, or if you lose and drop to fourth. I mean, that's just too much to risk.
I want the Dolphins round 1. Wild card round. I want to play the Dolphins. 1990s all over again. We're competing. The Buffalo Bills versus the Dolphins in Buffalo, and just destroy them. That or Tennessee Titans, because they got us on that weird Tuesday flex schedule. They had 2 weeks to prepare against us. I want that game back. I want that game back where it's like, okay, now we're all healthy. We know a schedule is not going to change because of the playoffs. Let's play a game, heads up, and that's it. We're going to beat them. I think we would just destroy them the way that our offense and defense are playing right now. And it's just amazing how good we are doing.
Well, I think Rory said something key though, is peaking, and I know is, we don't
know where that ceiling is.
I'll tell you what, but they've grown. I mean, each game they get better, and do you at that point say, okay, this is where we rest them? I mean, I don't know. You look at the Giants that year; they came back and upset the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I mean, they peaked and just were on all full cylinders. So
I'll tell you something that I could say firsthand is, both Tennessee and Kansas City had our games were at home. Or I'm sorry, Tennessee. No, I'm drawing a blank. Tennessee was at home, right?
No. Kansas City was at home. It was originally supposed to be for a Thursday, and because of the whole Tennessee thing, everything got pushed back to a different day, and we ended up playing them on a Monday.
Oh, right.
So they had an extra day, and we didn't. Still, we got screwed out of the deal.
Right. But the KC game had something in common with the Pittsburgh game, and I'll tell you, as much as I love the conditions of Bill Stadium, it is it's different now because when you get some wild weather in there, especially wind and rain, and you're a slinging offense, it's a tough adjustment to your game plan. And I thought when we played Mahomes. That what was probably, I don't know if it looked this way on TV, but in person, it just looked like we were just crushed by that weather. Like the wind was just enough to where you couldn't make a real nice pass on the ball. And, Mahomes and his game, they were able to adjust better than we were, but
we didn't establish our run game at all. It took us, until after the break to establish that run game. That had we had that run game, we would have beaten them.
And I would say that the weather was a factor. So It's an interesting, when you start thinking about this team playing in the Super Bowl and it being perfect conditions down in Tampa, that's an exciting forecast. And I actually get more worried about playing a team with a strong running game in Buffalo this year. That kind of freaks me out. Like, maybe we want home field advantage, but without a crowd and against a team that can run the ball, watch out. Like, I don't like that scenario. But I do like a scenario where we're playing in warm weather. You put Josh Allen in that, like, tell me about a game that he played poorly when the conditions were nice. I can't.
That's why we drafted him. His ceiling is unbelievable, and we don't know where it's at. He's playing lights out, breaking all these records right now,
right?
And we don't even know how better he can get. That is the scary thing right now.
Yeah,
We don't know. We don't know his record. We look at other quarterbacks. We look at Mahomes, and we're like, that's it. That's all. That's all Mahomes can do. Josh Allen's like, whoa, what the hell? And he's impressing us day in and day out, and I love it. It's so fucking good.
It is. It is.
Well, Roy brings up a good point though, is where you look at where he performs the best though is when you minimize those things that they talk about as strengths. I mean, if he plays in a dome or where it's nice, I mean, he's unstoppable. And I think that's a good point to point out is that Kansas City ran the ball a lot. Yeah, it was successful, but it was also the same factors that was limiting them in the passing game. I mean, if you watch them now, it's the same concept. I think the difference is that, where we are now is we've figured out how to use those pieces, those new defensive linemen, the linebackers, and the healthiness of Edmonds to stop it. I mean, if you look at the run defense now, I mean, look at what they did to the Broncos. I mean, that was impressive. And if looking at it from a playoff standpoint, unfortunately, we don't go to any of those dome areas or any of those nice things. Right. Regardless of where we go that are away stadiums, I mean, it's not nice. Kansas City.
and we show up. Whenever we go to those stadiums, we show up and we demolish people. Let's love it, dude. It's seriously, it's what it is. It's what it is. We are one Hail Mary away from winning 7 games in a row, folks. We're just playing lights out football. It's amazing.
That was a key play. I mean, I think that game is what sparked them to what they are now, if you really be honest. I mean, I think that they realized that because you look at what they did the past 2 weeks. Drew
Lock had 132 yards. That's some Tyrod Taylor numbers right there. Our defense was playing just absolute amazing, bro. And when Jerry Hughes got that forced fumble, Jerry Hughes, I thought he's going to get sacked. Why is he running backwards? And then he just cuts it back out to the outside for that touchdown.
Yeah.
Talk about all cylinders at once.
That guy's got some good energy. He always has. Here's a question: he's the longest tenured Bill, right?
Yeah, right now he is. Yep, absolutely. And I would hate to see him go because he can still play. These guys are playing.
And he is in a zone. When he plays, he comes on the sideline. I mean, he's pumped, man. So it's fun to watch him. The energy he brings to that defense is solid.
Now the defensive line, they did pretty good. Melvin Gordon did gash us a little bit. He still had 60 yards. And I think Lindsey had like another 40 on top of that. There's a couple things to pick out, but I'm just so glad that we have that anti-missile defense in the back. I mean, Trey White, Micah Hyde, man, these guys are just playing all-pro level. Our entire secondary should be all-pro with the exception of Levi Wallace. He's getting picked on a lot. Poor Wallace. What you guys is I gotta ask. Levy, you like Wallace? Talk to me.
Man, I'm not a Wallace fan. He makes plays, but I think that I think, to be honest with you, the guy that I really like and I'm looking forward to seeing probably, I think, starts across from White next year is Jackson there. Dane Jackson. He's a stud.
I know. I like him too.
But I mean, Wallace, on the other side of it is play devil's advocate. I mean, he's you got an all-pro corner on the other side. You know it's going to come at you, and they expect a lot. So, I mean, he's above average corner. I mean, we're Bills fans. We're tough. We're tough on him. But, I mean, he's an above average corner. It's tough. I mean, he's playing across from Trey White. I mean, I'll say it. I mean, I wasn't a fan of Gilmore's either. So, I mean,
I'm still not a fan of Gilmore. I hate him. I hear him the same conversation when they like, oh, Gilmore this, Gilmore that. Bro, we've got Trey White is 30 times better than Gilmore. I can't believe he won that.
I'm just glad Gilmore is still on that team.
I know. I can't. And then I can't wait for a Sunday just to lay that smackdown on Gilmore. He's not that good.
Well, I think what did he say? He wanted this so his family could finally see him play. Now he's getting over there. I mean, he won a couple Super Bowls with him, right? Maybe one. I'd have to look at that, but one. I think he won with him, and now he's back on the rebuild. I mean, that team.
Levy, what is your so let this game on? Is it Sunday or have they changed it yet? Because I don't even know the schedule.
Is it Monday.
Monday night games. Okay, so predictions for Monday night game, Levy. What do you got?
I think that game, I mean, you got to respect. I mean, Belichick has a good defensive scheme. That defense can play. I did see Gilmore got banged up with a knee. He was doubtful to return. So I would say right now, I'm going to say it's a 2-score win, Buffalo. I'd say you see something similar to what we've seen in Pittsburgh, to be honest with you. I don't think they drive down the field on us. Cam's just, whew.
He's done. He should retire.
Yeah,
so you got what, 14-0, 21-0 What I sound like, I hear a shutout. Is that what you're saying?
No, I ain't saying that. I think you're going to look at. I'm going to say they're going to average. I'll say 24-13 will be the final score. Buffalo
24-13. Maddie, what's your prediction?
I'm saying we're going to be a little higher than that. I have hope. I have some faith in us. I don't know. Like 30s. No, go up in the 40s something. To like, I don't know.
42-0.
Yeah. No.
So they're not scoring on us at all whatsoever.
Nope. Based on how the
Bills, you hear it here first. Maddie says 42-0. Buffalo Bills versus Patriots.
Well, based on how defense played yesterday.
Rory.
Yeah. So based on how defense played yesterday.
Rory, what's your wild prediction?
I think it's going to be closer than we want it to be. I think we're going to win by a field goal.
Cool.
I think it's going to be 38-35 by a field goal near the end.
Yeah, I definitely see it because it's, we're playing in Foxborough. We already clinched the division. We're already in the playoffs. What really do we also have to play for?
I think they want to make a statement.
We already made a statement. We already made a statement by being the Steelers. Made a statement by being the 49ers. Made a statement by people saying that the Denver Broncos is supposed to be a trap game. Made a statement.
How many times has New England won the AFC East and just
spanked us 2 games in a row? Oh, I know.
Yeah. Like this is, I really believe that this team is not motivated by necessarily record. I think they're motivated by statements and wins. Looking at. I think there's a whole lot of more powerful of a message to go in there and then hang it up after that. This is the last thing they got to finish, take a rest, and go into playoffs. So I think they're motivated to really just.
I mean, I think the problem with that playing them right now is that they got nothing to lose, right? Patriots have nothing to lose, and that's a Bill Belichick recipe for taking chances and opening it up. So I think Cam Newton is I think he'll have a good game against it. I still think we win. I just think it'll be closer than we want it to be. It'll test us just like the last time we played them, but we'll end up victorious. I think when you don't have it, when you're Bill Belichick and your season's over, you're just trying to be you're playing for different motivations. And
I'm with Rory. I agree with you 100%. They're going to be in this game. They have nothing to play for, and you're playing a divisional foe, the Buffalo Bills, who just are on a high from winning the AFC East Division Championship. And I think it's going to be definitely close. Absolutely. It's going to be so close. It's, the score is going to be 28-0. It's going to be a little closer than normal. Okay. Buffalo Bills are going to win 28-0. Cam Newton will have probably like less than 200 yards. He's going to get 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Doesn't sound like you agree with me, by the way.
Rory, I always agree with you. You were right. I am wrong. That's a part of the whole breaking table. That's what we do here at Breaking Tables. Is
break a table? I mean,
well, where Buffalo Bills are winning 28-0, and it is going to be to add to Levy's statement. I agree. We have to add on and make a statement again and keep going just to show people that we're awesome. That's it. Rory, how can people follow you? Just talk to us about if I wanted to get signs, how can I follow you? A, and then B, where can I find these cool signs?
Yeah, so you can look for Zoom Buffalo on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm pretty public with my Facebook profile, Rory Allen, and then all of our signs are at zoombuffalo.com, and we're doing signs as well as shirts. So we're trying to launch a new product every day, and this being the height of Bills mania. Expect a lot of good products out of us over the next month.
Nice, dude. I cannot wait. And I already saw the one sample. Like I'm getting it. And nice. You guys need to ship it down to Florida because the next show is going to have that in my background.
Nice.
That is so cool, Rory. Thank you so much for hopping on the show. Daddy and Maddie, talk to me. Where can we find you guys?
Go ahead, hit 'em up.
You can find us on Twitter at the Daddy and Maddie 1. And then you can find us on Facebook under Justin Maddie because Facebook wanted to have some issues and not put our show. And then you can find us on Anchor under the Daddy and Maddie show.
Yeah, they released it on Spotify. Yeah. We also there's several podcast elements that are released it. We're just a lot of our stuff we put on Facebook. There'll be a little content that she puts on there, videos that she catches me singing or different, opinions and stuff like that. Just things that, I'm sure Rory can testify to, the things that go on behind the scenes in the household, the fun stuff, the family stuff, and all the stuff that, that's on there. And so really that's the easiest way to find us. And
that's awesome. That is so cool, guys. No, seriously, you have to listen to the Maddie and Daddy show. It is so cool. It's different. It's not sports. It's not regurgitated facts. I'm like explicit. They're like very light. Like they're like PG-13. I'm rated R or NC-17 and above. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. And this is going to go live right after we're done. I got to do a little editing and we'll go ahead and publish Bad Boy. And it's going to be automatic success, automatic hit. So thank you guys for being on the show. The first show, AFC Champions, Division Champions. Mafia, if you guys are still listening, God bless you. I want to thank my guests. I want to thank you. Buffalo Bills are your AFC Division Champions. Have a great night. I am out. Bye-bye.